So yeah, and I'll say this again, but this week is going to be mostly trying to set up this virtual world that we're going to be in. So making sure that we have the teams going and we know where to chat, where to ask questions, where to answer them, kind of where we're going to be getting all this information that we need, all of that stuff. So we're just going to focus on that first, get it all going, and then not have to worry about it for the rest of the semester. So that's the plan. It seems to work the best that way rather than trying to draw it out for a couple of weeks of, a little bit every time. We're just going to dive in. All right. All right, well, let's get going. You can see that I do record these videos, these meetings, in case you can't make it to one of them. You'd be able to look it up and watch it. So welcome to what used to be a guest room. We are now, and now it's an office. We are now kind of a lot more in each other's comfort spaces, right? And homes and res rooms, etc., than we used to be. Used to be that we would meet in this neutral place called the classroom and kind of interact there and be able to almost, well, physically and proverbially close the door to the outside world. That's no longer the case, for better or for worse. But, I work out of my home. I have 2 cats, a 7-year-old kid, and my husband that you may well see through the semester. I don't mind if yours walk in or need your attention. I mean, we're in each other's spaces, right? And if you have stuff to take care of, that is fine. Obviously, we're going to try to make the experience as distraction free as possible, but there is nothing wrong with having to step away and attend to a kiddo or something going on, or if a cattail walks across the screen. Totally cool. That's what they do. So so feel free to kind of to remember that we are kind of in each other's spaces. Now, it's very helpful, and I'm glad that a lot of you are sharing your screen. When we're talking like this, having actual human live visual contact is a treat these days, and it's very helpful for having conversations. So I appreciate it when you turn your screens on, your videos on. However, if at any point either you or somebody in your space isn't comfortable with it, of course, you need to turn it off, or if you want to step away for a minute and just turn that off and come back to us. So judge based on your own situation, your own experience, whether that's something that is appropriate at the time, okay? Just as a heads up, it is usually good to tell everybody in the house that you are online and live. We've had some situations happen before that people didn't know that they were being projected, and in the background, they were in different states of presentability or not. So anyway, so just make sure everybody knows you're live and people are in your house as if you had guests. Okay. All right, so a little bit about me. First of all, welcome to 112 Honors. I am super excited about this course. I've been teaching 112 forever, but I haven't yet done honors. And I'm super excited about being able to dive in deeper and have more encompassing and big conversations and really explore this with you guys. I'm really, really excited about it. And that's kind of the way I'm seeing it, is that we are all educators. The moment you chose this profession as something that you're looking to spend your whole life doing, you are an educator. You're no longer, I don't see kids as being in preparation for adulthood. I see them as kids, and this is what they are now. So I don't see you guys as in preparation to be educators. You are educators. The moment you chose that, you made that decision. So we're in this together. We're in this to help each other, to collaborate, to support each other. And I don't just mean me support you. I mean, you guys support each other as well. And I'm not here to judge or be a gateway in any way. I'm here literally to support you, do the best you can to do by the kids, because it's all about the kids. I mean, honestly, what we do here today, tomorrow, this whole semester is irrelevant unless it has impact and positive impact on the kids. Excuse me. So that's my approach. So a little bit about myself. I've had an interesting journey over here. I've been at Bridgewater since 2011 in the Department of Mathematics. My undergraduate and master's degree are actually in cancer research. And while I was working on my master's, I was invited to teach mathematics, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved it because it's something you can explore, something you can make sense of, and something that there are so many different ways to approach a mathematical idea that, and every way is valid and valuable and really interesting, that I just love getting in there and exploring. So I did my doctorate at Boston University in math education. And I'm specifically very interested in elementary, I think somebody is, a student is calling. Okay, in elementary levels, because it's the kids at that point are not yet trained by society to think about it, to think in one particular way, that one way is correct and another way is not correct. They are still creative and explore, and you know, they have that imagination and they're excited about sharing their thoughts. So that's kind of what really gets me curious and makes me fall in love with every classroom every day. So that's what the world will be in, because that's what it is. It's all about the kids. So we're going to be recreating that kind of idea. I'm hoping that we'll be able to push aside the societal training that we've all received, and to just explore, let go and explore the concepts and ideas and each other's thoughts, okay, or everybody's strategies. So for a few minutes, about 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to give you kind of a big overview of the environment in which we'll be working and collaborating. And then I will give you the rest of the class to work together in your breakout groups. So I'll set you up in breakout groups to figure out the technology thing. And it's really just a list of things to do that you need to set up. You work together. We're not, again, no judgment, no competition. We're just all trying to get this done by Sunday. Okay, so that's the way we're going to do it. And then when you're done with those breakout groups, you can head out. If you want to ask me questions, you can come back to the main room where I'll be hanging out, and then then head back to the breakout group. All right. So first of all, I think as I've already mentioned, it's a brand new world. None of us signed up for this as we started. None of us have had training in it, so we're all exploring. However, I think when we're back to face-to-face fully, and when we're able to be in the same physical space with the kids, I hope that we will have found some tools in this technology world that will improve our teaching, even when we have kids in front of us. So that we will we'll be able to provide better access, better experiences. We'll be able to integrate technology in a good way, so that it can enhance our face-to-face interactions, because we've had this experience. So I see this as a learning for the future as well. Okay, it's not ideal on its own, but it's going to give us some tools that we didn't know about before. So it's kind of a forced experiment. But we are all in this together, right? Right now, there are almost no experts in this world, in this technological world, and everybody's a novice. So we're in this together, we're exploring together. As we do this in any exploration and in any kind of collaboration, I want to say that and emphasize that every person, everybody, every contribution matters. Okay, and it makes our conversation better. We've been trained in school often that you're taught one way to do things and you need to mimic that one way. And if we're not thinking that way, we usually recoil, and we usually say, well, I must be wrong, because that's not the way they want me to do things, right? Right? Have you felt that sometimes? What happens in those situations is we lose the richness of ideas and strategies and creativity that everybody brings to the conversation. So we have a situation where we have a math problem to solve. There's one way to solve it. Everybody solves it that way, and it is dreadfully boring. Instead, what I think and I hope we can create here is that we have a problem, and then everybody comes to it from their own backgrounds, their own experiences, their own ideas, their own strategies. And instead of recoiling when you have something different, I want you guys to lean in and say, hey, I have a different way to do this, right? And let's talk about it and let's see how that connects. Does that make sense? Because that's power. Having a different way of thinking or a different solution is actually power, right? And that's why we all, I mean, there's whole value of diversity. It's not just diversity that the way we hear about it, about racial and socioeconomic and all that. It's a diversity of thought, right? We all have different experience, and we want to bring that all into this conversation because that's what's going to prepare us. Because honestly, the kids are going to be a lot more creative and a lot more diverse in their thinking than we are. So we need to be prepared for that situation. Okay. So I want everybody to feel like they matter, not necessarily not only because I'm afraid of leaving people behind, but I think that if somebody stays behind, we all lose out because we don't hear their input. Okay, we don't get their input. Okay, so I'd like you to decide that if you have a different thought, a different idea, engage, right? And tell us about it because we all want to know. Okay, in that case, we all need to make sure that everybody's heard because everybody has their own ideas and you know, we want to hear them out non-judgmentally. Okay, so that's kind of going to be it's a conversation. It's going to continue being a conversation. In that sense, also, my role is not going to be the final judgment or the gateway or anything like this. I'm just part of your conversation, and I have my own ideas. I may have more experience in some ways. My experience may have gotten me stuck in my ways, right? So that could be a good thing or a bad thing. So I'm contributing to this discussion, and we're all going to be supporting each other to make sure that we do the best we can for the kids once we have them in front of us. Okay, that's the goal. All right. So that's the kind of the focus or the environment in which I'd like this course to go for the semester. Now, in terms of technology, it's a brave new world. And we are all learners. We're all experimenting. I'm experimenting with a dozen things this semester. And I promise you that with all the different balls that are up in the air, some will drop. And either I will not know something about the program that you had discovered, or I may have promised you that I'll post something and I forget to do it. I don't do it on purpose. It's a ball that dropped, right? So I want you guys to reach out and to say, hey, I found this cool thing on Teams, or I found this. Have you ever tried that? That's a new tool. We want to create this kind of environment around technology as well. Or if I've dropped the ball, somebody text me and tell me I dropped the ball, because then I'll just post it and then we're done with it, right? And we don't have to all be, you know, frustrated that some ball is lying somewhere. Okay, make sense? So really open conversation and all open communication, and we're all on this together. I promise I don't make judgments of questions. Personally, I don't make judgments of like if somebody corrects me, I'm like, great, thank you. I'm very appreciative. Okay, so all right. So that's that. Now, in terms of big conversations that we're going to have, as I said, we are all educators. We're educators now. From the moment you decided to start this journey of yours, and I have mine. As educators, we will talk about a huge range of things. We'll talk about total tiny little details that nobody but educators will care about. Like, how can we explain to a child that 2 + 3 is the same as 3 + 2, right? Some engineer or somebody else couldn't care less. It's just they're the same. Somebody told me that before, it's all done. But for us, we care, because different kids are going to approach it and understand it in a different way. So sometimes we'll be like looking under a microscope at a mathematical idea. Sometimes we'll talk about big concepts. What's addition, right? How does that relate to subtraction in general? Sometimes we'll be talking about vision. Like, how do I want a child to interact with mathematics? How do I want a child to interact with me in the classroom or with their peers? right? Those are more visionary things. And sometimes we'll be talking about the big, huge picture. Like right now, there's so many things happening in the world with the pandemic, social justice, with the politics, with all of this. And as educators, we know that all of that is relevant to our kids. It's all going to impact every single one of them, either impacting right this minute or is going to impact them in a month, a year, in their life. Okay, so it's all relevant to us. So we will sometimes talk about this really big picture conversations, and those can come up from you, from me, from any place, right? From news, any place. And I'm going to be happy to engage in those at any time. All right. So it's like, welcome to the world that we're going to have in this little space of ours. All right. So let me, with all of that in mind, show you a little bit about Teams so that you have a little bit of a orientation around what that looks like. And then I will, as I said, break you guys up into groups and give you some tasks. I'll show you where the tasks are to get through, okay, together, right? It's not a competition, it's not a race. You just need to support each other to make sure that everybody is all set by Sunday. And if that's the problem, then reach out to me, okay? If you don't get that done on your own, or together, and if there's a glitch, you can always come back and ask me, or you can come in on Friday and I'll let you know how that works. So let me share my Teams with you. Share screen. There we go. It might look a little bit different because you're a student. I have a few more. Can you see my screen? Whoops.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. So this is Teams. We have MATH112 honors fall 2020. And this is kind of our hub. I've experimented with Moodle and Blackboard, and I've forced myself to do a lot of that, and I am not a friend. Blackboard and I are not friends. So this year, and I experimented with Teams last semester in the spring, and I thought it had a lot of potential. So this year, we're going to try and just dive into the Teams world, and everything will happen around in Teams, except for the Zoom. Zoom is the only, like the visual is the only thing that we're going to do through Zoom. So let me show you a little bit about it. So the general tab, you'll see these 4 tabs here. The general tab is where all of the course information is going to be. And you'll see across the top, there are links. So there's posts and files and assignments. And then across the top further, there's a syllabus. So let me take you to the syllabus. And that is going to be our entryway, right? So all of these tabs are going to be our entryway. So our syllabus is online, and you can scroll through it. Oh my goodness, that's big. So my name, email, phone number, theoretically in the office, it goes to my email. Most important links are here. The Zoom room, which is going to be the same anytime you want to see human live contact. Okay, anytime you want to see a human live related to this course, it's going to be through this Zoom meeting. The course site, the safe return. So the timing for the human interaction that's live in September, October, we will meet like this on Wednesdays. And for updates, announcements, discussions, conversations, anything that needs to happen live. However, I think my philosophy is that our lives, especially in this time, are unpredictable. And I cannot expect everybody to be in class Monday, Wednesday, as scheduled as if we were in a regular semester. I think too many things are going on. So I have made part of the course asynchronous, which means that I will post videos and I will post some assignments for you to think about and to work through on your own. But it's still going to be interactive, right? You'll see how that works. It's still going to be interactive, but on your own time. And then chat with me or email me, or we can talk during optional face-to-face times. Okay. So the drop-in, which means that you can come in anytime, are on Friday from 10 to 1. And the by appointment, if you want to talk to me more privately, then those are going to be Mondays 10 to 2. You can send me an email to make an appointment. Okay? So in September, October, excuse me, we'll meet visually this way live on Wednesdays. And the rest of the time is optional and individual, optional live, but individual. In November, we're going to switch a little bit, and we're going to meet live on Mondays, and then Wednesdays will be by appointment. Okay. Course materials, online materials. You can read through all of this. Philosophy, the equity statement, the grades, grading, the way that we're going to assess. Take a look through all of that. We'll talk about it more. And yes, there's a quiz. It's a fun Kahoot quiz. I think. I haven't decided yet. And then rights and responsibilities. Everything that normally goes into the syllabus is going to be here. Okay. So sometimes, let me show you and manipulatives, for example. Some of you were asking me by email about manipulatives. Like there's a kit that you can buy. But because we're in the virtual world, I'm going to be also providing you with virtual manipulatives, okay? Stuff you can do on the computer. Now, we have an actual account. Bridgewater has an account with this company that'll give you full access to all the manipulatives that they have. And I'm gonna ask you to sign in. Now, a lot of questions I get are, hey, how do I sign in? Where's the sign in? Well, if you go up here, right, do you see this up top, the little chat icon? And open. On most tabs where that icon is there, we can have a conversation about it, specifically about that document. So in here, I've already started the conversation and I said, log in using BSU Math Manipulative for, might be manipulatives, but I'll find out. But for both login and password. Okay, so if ever in doubt, keep an eye out for this. And then there might be more information. Okay, so I'll let you look around when you guys are in groups at all of these things. I'll get back to assignments in a minute. On the left, you will also see 3 other, what they call channels. The Q&A is going to be a place where we have our questions and answers in general. I don't reserve the right to answer all existing questions. I don't think I should. I think you guys are just as empowered, should be just as empowered to answer questions as you are to ask them, okay? So if somebody asks a question and you know an answer to it or you have an idea, go for it. Please respond, right? I will too, but if I can add something, but please respond. So anything, any Q&A can be here. As I said, the glitches and life hacks. Now, balls in the air, they're going to be glitches. This is a brand new world, right? As I said, I might forget something or there might be a problem with technology or something like that. This is a place to discuss them, okay? So write your technology glitch that you are experiencing in here. And then if anybody has a hack for that glitch, great, share it. Or if you found a really cool tool in a particular software, share that, right? So let's enhance our experience here by sharing, by crowdsourcing. And then the big picture conversations can be here, because those are the kinds of things that will take us way outside of the classroom. So there might be politics, there might be, you know, any kind of education related events or social justice questions, anything like that. Okay, they can be here. I will post some things for us to think about in here, like I did for today. And as can you. If you find something interesting that you want us to discuss or something puzzling, throw it in here and we'll talk about it. Okay. The reason I put this picture up is I actually wanted to have this particular conversation with you today. Now, when we have a number of different, when we're learning or we're just living, we have a number of different zones that we can be in. Mental zones, like we can be in our comfort zone, right? You know what that feels like, right? You're doing similar things, familiar things every day. not really not really stretching, not really challenging yourself. You're just safe and comfort and predictable, right? So that's the safety zone. On the other side, there is the learning zone and the growth zone. So if you are stepping outside of that comfort zone or trying to learn something new or trying to experience, to have an experience that you've never had before, those are the learning and the growth zone. But do you notice what's in between those, the comfort and then the learning and growth? Right? You notice that fear zone? That's there for everybody. That fear zone is that lack of self-confidence or the fear of being judged by peers or the fear of embarrassing yourself because you don't know something, or, you know, the search for excuses. Well, I don't really feel like doing this today because whatever. That fear zone is always there for everybody. No matter if you want to step out of your comfort zone, people say, oh, step out of your comfort zone. If you want to step out of your comfort zone, you will be experiencing the fear zone. The question is, how do we experience that? We need to acknowledge that it's there, right? And say, all right, I'm just gonna fight through it. And I'm gonna feel my fear and I'm just gonna just close my eyes and just go right through and hope for the best, right? That's one way. Another way is to go into the fear zone and acknowledge it. Yes, I'm afraid, but I'm still gonna make that decision to make the next step. But however you deal with that, I think it's important to realize that we're going to be in the world where a lot of things are uncomfortable and a lot of things are new things for us to learn. So we're going to be stepping into that fear zone. But what I'm asking you to do is acknowledge it and step through it, right? And let's get to that learning zone and let's get to that growth zone. Okay, and we're going to support each other in doing that. Okay. But as a visual, I'm hoping that that's going to kind of help frame that as you are potentially hindered in that fear zone and you just keep going through it. All right, so let's get back to the general, and I wanted to show you the announcements tab. Oh, sorry, assignments tab, pardon me. I'm gonna get through to this next page that's gonna flash up. You're not gonna see because, oh, this one, oh, weird. Oh, there's the, interesting. That didn't sync. Okay, all right, hold on. Let me just do it quick. It didn't sync on this computer, but let me show you quickly. And there you get the audio experience of my son playing. If you can hear all the thuds. So there's going to be a scavenger hunt, which I will put up momentarily. Hi, kiddo. And as it loads up, this is going to be your task for today and through Sunday. So you have a few tasks. Hi, you want to say hi? Yeah. Okay. And also, I want to keep this here. Can you not punch the air balloon here though, because I'm working? Okay, somewhere else would be better. Get up. Thank you. So this is going to be a few tasks for you guys to think about, or to complete. So your name, the course that you're taking. If you've downloaded the Office 365 and you have Teams on your computer, just check these off, right? Whatever you have already done. If you, once you get into Teams, you can send an introductory message in the general channel. You can do all of these tasks, right? Post a burning question to our Q&A, send a note, doing that. Just follow through all of these. Log into Pearson My Lab to get the book, Edpuzzle, all of these kinds of things, right? They're just steps for you to set everything up. Work together on them, make sure that everybody is clear and nobody gets stuck. Okay? All right. So, and then when you're done, you can submit. So that's going to be your task for the day, and actually through Sunday night. Okay. Any questions on that? I'm going to get back to our screen here. I thought you might need it. But I'm in a class. But you're hot. Yeah. Okay, can you go downstairs?
No.
Then I need you to be quiet. Thank you. Okay. So any questions? If we don't have anything in chat, feel free to ask on chat anytime, anything. Any questions before I send you into breakout rooms? Everybody clear on everything you need to do? Now in breakout rooms, you can't chat with me. If you want to ask me a question, you need to leave your breakout. I would just take one person from the group. Leave the breakout room and come join me in the main room, and then you can go back once the question is answered. Or once you have Teams installed, you can chat with me through Teams. I'll be monitoring both. Okay? All right. Everybody good? Breakout rooms? Okay. At the end of the day, at the end of the class, you're welcome, as I said, to come back and check in with me, or you can just leave the meeting as well if you're done with this. If you have any glitches today, I'll see you on Friday when you can just drop in and ask me questions. Okay, how do you go to the breakout rooms? As soon as I put you in them. All right, so you should have 3 or 4 participants per room, and I will see you guys later.